Hello, good afternoon. So today I will be discussing to you the second to the last topic of HPC, the applied tools and modern technologies. So this is lesson 11, I think. So understanding computer networks and the internet. Okay, so what are the lessons objectives? So after this lesson, so after giving you this video discussion, hopefully you will able to distinguish the different types of computer networks and understand how they operate both locally and globally, and also to understand the definitions and functions of the internet and create an appropriate guidelines in using the internet in the workplace. Okay, so there are, wait a minute. So there are uh, one, two, three, four, five, six discussions with regards to this topic. So the first one is to definition. So what is a computer network? So when we say computer networks, it is a set of computers linked together for the purpose of sharing resources and exchange data. So the computer may be connected by different means such as cable, satellites, and fiber optics. So prime example of the computer networks are the line or the local area and the internet. So when we say computer network, it is the interconnected devices, most especially the computers. So if your computer or if your devices is connected to one another, so meaning to say that is already a network. So when you are in your home, if your computer is connected to your internet provider, that is already a network. Now, if your phone or mobile or if your television is connected with that internet, that is already considered a network. So, one most commonly example is when you visit an internet cafe, when the computer are interconnected with each other, when you can communicate through a network. Let's say, for example, if you are going to text your friend through the FB Messenger, you are already interconnected, or you are already using the network. So one commonly example of, or one prime example of computer network is called the LAN or the local area network. So when we say local area network, which will be further discussed later on, is the most common. So naka-wired na siya using cables or using wire. So your computer is connected to your printer. So that is the local area network. So naara sila sa local or naara sila sa Osaka place wherein all the devices and the computers are connected with each other. Now, there are different forms of computer network. The first one is the local the local area network, which is the LAN. So when you say LAN is connect computers and other peripheral devices in a limited physical area such as the building, the office, the laboratory, or the campus. A typical LAN is consists of two or more personal computers, printers, and disk storage devices which serve as a file server. A sample format for LAN is as shown as follows. So mo ni siya example of a sample topology of land or a sample arrangement or framework of a LAN or the local area network. So as it was being defined here, the LAN connect computers and peripheral in a close or in a limited physical area. So let's say for example, internet cafe that is limited. So all of the computers are being connected through wires or through cables. So dili siya wireless because everything is locally connected with each other. Let's say for example, a computer 1, computer 2, computer 3, computer 4, up to how many computers are situated or are being placed in that area, and then it is being connected with one printer. So that is already uh, locally locally connected. So computers, especially desktop, are usually connected to the internet through LAN or local area network. Not unless mo gamit mo og kanang mura og kanang it's a kind of device wherein you can makakuha siya og signal through the Wi-Fi. And then the second one is the MAN or the Metropolitan Area Network. So these networks are higher than LAN but smaller than WAN. So it has a features of both network. MAN cover an entire geographical area, usually a town or a city. So similar to WAN or the wireless or the wired area network, MAN connects the smaller LANs and computer into a common network, usually through telephone lines. This type of network is typically used by government companies who provide public services such as banks. So this is the example of a typical or a sample topology of a man. So although it already consume a larger space compared to LAN, but most likely the idea is more on same ra gyapon siya sa LAN. It is usually used within that certain area. Let's say for example in big companies wherein there are lots of devices that is involved. Let's say na first floor, third floor, and so on and so forth. All of those computers are connected into one man or into one metro area network. So let's say for example kanang mga call centers. So all the computers bisan asa pa ka let's say for example on your first day na assign ka ani nga area, but on the second day lahi na sad imong computer gigamit, but your login details, all your informations, all the data is you can actually access it from one computer to another because you are connected in one. So that is precisely what a metropolitan area network. It is more larger in terms of space, but the capability are most likely the same with LAN or the local area network. Now we also have the wide area network. I mean wide area network. So once connect computers and smaller networks to a large networks using larger geographical areas, so which may span different continents. So they link the computer through cables, optical fibers, and satellites, but the users and computer access the network via modem. So the modem is a device that allows the computer to communicate over telephone lines. So one example for this is the PLDT. PLDT is using fiber optics. They're using optical fibers in order for us to connect to the internet. And then we also have Globe. Globe is actually using signal. So that's why ang globe most likely you can get it from antenna or kanang ilahang uh, uh, plate, or that is where they get their signals. Compared to PLDT, they get it through wired or kind of optical fibers nga giingon nila. It's a very minute kay siya nga wire. So wide area network is I think the most mas dako ang coverage niya because example is the internet. So wherever you go, may it be you're in the small area or in a bigger area or in a bigger space, you can actually access the wide area network. Although the connections for that is naamoy medium nga gitawag, which is what we call the modem. So as long as you have the connection with the modem via Wi-Fi ba or via LAN ba, as long as the modem is there, it will give you the access to the internet. So from the internet, the modem, which is the medium between the two, and then the user or the devices. Okay, so the prime example of one is the internet. So if you will go to malls or if you go to airports or some other things, mostly they are using one or the wide area network. So you can actually access. Now here, the next one, this is actually the example or the sample topology of one wherein from places to other places, from continents to other continents, from town to other towns, from city to other city, you can actually access the one or the wide area network. And then we also have uh, the three advantages. So here we can see the difference or the comparison between the three forms of computer networks. We have the LAN, the metropolitan area networks, and the wide area networks. Here you can see the advantages and disadvantages. First, we will further discuss the advantage and the disadvantage of the local area network. So when you see local area network, the advantage of the local area network, it is secure since it is a closed network and can't be accessed. The second one is it is faster. No, it is secure since it is a closed network and can access. Yes, of course, it is very secured because you have a limited users only, and then it's easier for you to trace or to bug all the problems or whatever bugs there is within the network because you are in a limited space, and then everything is wired. You can actually easily trace whatever the problems that will arise. And then LAN is faster due to the size of the network. Of course, LAN is faster because it's direct, it is wired, and it is locally transmitted only, a local transmissions of network only. And then it enables sharing of software programs which will cost for the business. Yeah, it's enable sharing of software programs because you can actually use uh, software programs which is taken from the other computers to computers. Let's say computer one can actually access the computer two, whatever software is there. You can actually share because you are locally connected or interconnected only. Now, what is the disadvantage? So the disadvantage for the local area network is that data can be accessed if the server computer is not set up correctly and there is a leak in security. No matter how close the network is, as long as if the server is not set up correctly, wherein supposedly ang server will have the control of all the computers that is locally connected. Supposedly the one that is in control is the server, but if it is not properly installed, then computers can actually access within its computer one or computer or locally they can locally access computers from one computer. So that is really a big disadvantage when it comes to laboratory here, like a classroom laboratory or computer laboratory, because most of the teacher, especially programming, if most of the teachers, if the server is not working, and then through the server, if the server is working properly, then we can check the output of the student in the server only, so we don't have to go from computer to computer since we can access it all through the server. But if it is not working properly, then we have to go to the computer one by one for us to check the output. However, one of the disadvantage also, big disadvantage also, is that student can copyright right there and then, because it's hard for the teacher or it's hard for the instructor to monitor since it's out of control already. So you have to hop in from computer to computer. Now they have limited space and cannot extend to the wider area. Of course, if that that locally installed, or if it is the local area network that we are talking about, you only have to access within that area. Let's say if that building is locally network only, then you can have the access within that space only. If diha lang a laboratory or diha lang a room or diha lang a build or diha lang a certain space, then you cannot extend the signal, or you cannot extend whatever the signal or the network that you need to submit, or that you need to transport from one person to from one computer to another. And the conditions of server computers may affect the network as a whole, since the key to the key to the access of the network is usually through the condition of the server computer. So if your server computer is working perfectly, then you can access, or you can have the control of the whole devices, or of the whole computer that is being connected within that area. Now let's go to the metropolitan area, or the network, or the MAN. So MAN is less expensive than LAN. Less expensive than LAN, and then compared to WAN, or the wide area network, MAN is more secure. And then MAN is faster compared to WAN. So less expensive than LAN, maybe because of the coverage, and then the number of, maybe from all the security and all the kanang number of connections that it has to be involved when it comes to MAN. And then compared to wired area network or wide area network, MAN is more secure, since it is more secure because it's already situated in one area, or it is situated to a larger area, although to a larger area, but it is more focused to that certain kung asa man ang area ibutang. Let's say for example, if that is already situated in one town, then it's easier for you to trace, it's easier for you to monitor, because the links, the numbers, the IP address is more focused, because the area is situated, or the network is situated in that certain area only. Now, the disadvantage are, there are higher chances that the metropolitan area network will be attacked by hackers compared to LAN. Yes, it is most likely, since it is in higher institution, or in a higher degree of uh, network connection, most especially if it is involve a company agencies, if it involve uh, institution, it involves business as establishment, so it is very tempting to the hackers. And then maybe it's easier for them to hack also, since it is more focused, it's easier to trace. And then we also have metropolitan area network is slower compared to land, so it requires optic cables. It is slower because of the distance between each other networks, or because of the distance of each other devices, or where it is being situated. And then man is more expensive compared to land, yes, obviously because of the coverage of the area. Now we have the wide area network, or the WAN. So it covers a large geographical area, so the business can connect office branches through one. Yes, because that is actually widely used everywhere you go now, especially now that we're in pandemic. Most of the people are actually having internet. It's not, it is a necessity. Compared before, it is just a privilege, but now it is actually a necessity. So it's like um, it's like electricity bill or water bill. So every houses or every establishment, it is a must or a need to have an internet connection. So most of us are actually, we are using the wide area network, wherein we can access from places to places, from continents to continents, from town to town, or from city to city. So uh, it is more privilege, or it's not really a privilege, but it is more on the need of the access, and then the need of the necessity of the businesses, or any regular or ordinary people can actually access. And then there are lesser expenses for the business, because there is no need to spend on storage or branch businesses. This is really less expense, because we don't have to have a server, we don't have to have devices or computer to set up an internet. All you need to, or even a storage, all you need to do is to have a modem and a connection, and an internet provider, may it be PLDT or Globe or whatever internet provider you have in your place. And then you can actually access your internet. But before, you cannot access, not unless with the computer, or the desktop. But now, all you need to do is to have the modem. If you have the devices like mobile, or cell phone or laptop, you can actually access to the internet through the one. And there are lesser, and then due to the global nature of one, businesses are also encouraged to expand globally. This is very common, especially if your business have branches from all over the place. So it's easier for you to monitor. Let's say, for example, in my case, we have a small, it's just a normal CCTV, wherein wherever I go, I can actually monitor what happened in our house. So it's actually, we are using one, so from the connection in the house, and then wherever I go, I can actually monitor whatever happens in my house. Maybe I be in Butuan or Tandag, I can actually access that. So that is a perfect example for the one. And one needs more security compared to man and land. Yeah, wide area network is needed more security compared, because of its freedom, because of its you can easily access the wide area network, and the setup cost for one is high. Yes, maybe because of uh because of the maybe because of the materials, and then the number of, or the bandwidth that you need to use, for that anybody can, for that all of the people that is involved in that business or in that area can access. And then one covers a lot of areas. Fixing the problem is also difficult. That is one, compared to LAN and MAN, it's easier for you to trace, because of the everything is accounted, everything is, who connected, who among the people or the users are connected within that area or within that network. But compared to wide area network, since it covers a lot of areas from places to places, it's if any problems arises, it's hard for you to trace, it's hard for you to solve. And then problems on connectivity or slow internet speed issues, of course, because of, not just because of the it covers a lot of areas, but also because of uh, people are actually on wired area network, a lot of users are involved. So the people that is using that certain one, you have to murag ibahin-bahinin nyo ang signal, so it's easier. So the more people use it, the more it gets so slow when it comes to connectivity. Now, uh, number four is to define what is internet. So an internet is a global network that links the internet is a global network that links smaller networks and computers by using the internet protocol suite as a means to connect them. So when you say TCP/IP, it's actually a transmission control protocol, and then the IP is the uh, internet protocol. So as a means to connect them. So internet is a global network that links smaller networks and computer using the internet protocol suite, and then the internet protocol. So it is what we called as the link between, or the ID, kung sa normal pa lang na, it is the identification of all the computers that is being connected through the internet. So these are the basic internet concepts, or the basic words or the terminologies that used in the internet world. So we have the browser. So this is the application software that lets you access the World Wide Web. So when you say browser, you cannot uh, before the kanang mga apps, mga mobile apps, you cannot access the internet without the browser. So ang examples of browsers are, we have Chrome, we have Safari, we have Internet Explorer, Mozilla, and so many other browsers that is available now. So that is where you can access whatever sites you want to browse, or whatever sites that you need to visit to. And then we also have the hypertext and hypermedia. So when we say hypertext, by the word text, it is the text containing electronics links to the other text. So since it's hypertext, it is the link or the electronic links that you need to access. So it is comprises of text. Compared to hypermedia are links that contain pictures, video, etc. So when you say hypermedia or the media, it could be a sound, it could be a video, pictures, or graphics. So that is what is the difference between the hypermedia and then the hypertext. Now, the HTML, or the hypertext markup language, this is a set of commands used to create a World Wide Web document. So, if you want to create a website, if you want to create a web page, or whatever you want to create through the use of the HTML, you have to use the HTML because this is a type of language or a programming language that will enable you to create web page or websites. And then clients, so computers that are capable of obtaining information application from those servers. So when we say clients in the internet world, this is not person, this is the devices or the computer that is being connected through the server. So ang server, mo access dito ang mga computers, so that what we call clients. So uh, a server is the one who will host, or the one who will control all the clients that is being connected to that server alone. And then we also have the server. So speaking about the server, the computers that provide functionality to other computers. So the server controls, the server provides the informations or the functionalities for other computers that is being connected to. So most likely ang server mas bugat gyud na siya specifications, so that he or so that that computers or that server can accommodate all the computers that is being connected to that server. So taas siya og kanang specification when it comes to hardware specification, and then the software specification as well. Now we have the IP address. So this is a numerical designation for each computer or devices connected to the internet. So IP address is what we called, mura na siya og kanang ID. So mura na siya og, let's say, typical example is, let's say sa imong cellphone you have telephone numbers, no, telephone numbers, and then naa say mga names. So ang kanang telephone number is what we call the identifications of the user, or the identifications of the internet, kanang murag uh, murabag tag iya sa internet nga imong gigamit. So let's say for example, if you're using in your home, so tanang ni avail og internet provider, or tanang ni avail og internet connections, we have the IP address. So that alone is unique. That alone is where the authorities can identify kung asa nga lugar, kung unsay oras, kung exactly what time gigamit. So the IP address is actually very important because it is unique, and it is the identification of the internet user. So if naay mga like cyber libel or cyber crime, the first one to identify is the IP address. And then number 6 is the positive effects of the internet to the business. So there are positive effects, yeah, mostly positive effects, especially now. So the first one is it enables the business to communicate easier and faster with its employees, customers, and associates. Emails, instant messaging have changed the way the business communicates. So it's really very obvious because, especially now, we cannot actually function well without the use of the internet. It's not just an effect, positive effect, but it's a needed effect. It's a necessary effect. It is a mandatory effect because we communicate now through the use of the internet. Without the use of the internet, it's really difficult for us to function. It's really difficult for us to communicate with each other, may it be business, may it be with family, may it be in school, maybe every aspects of our lives. So it's not just a business, but it's a necessity for us. The second one is because of the internet, many businesses are now offering the options of their employee to work from home using the office equipment provided by the business. Actually, now I am work from home. Thursday is my work from home, but I'm here in the office. But since the internet is here already, and it is possible for employee to work from their home as long as everything is there in their laptop, or they have the computer, or they have the devices to help them function their job, even if they're at home. So that's precisely because we have the internet. And then we also have online classes. We have flexible online classes from elementary to college because of the use of the internet. uh, the education, or any aspects, or any sectors now are actually can function. We can continue whatever job we are doing. That's because of the internet. That's because of the help of the internet. And then we also have the internet allows the business to market, advertise each product to a larger market. Moreover, the internet allows the business to be able to know the needs of its customers. You know what these pandemics bring us is that it gives us the opportunity to discover a lot of jobs, or to discover a lot of opportunities to do ventures through online. So even before, YouTube is already here, but now the YouTube community is really booming. A lot of people are actually uh, getting some money out of it. And then there are also some celebrities who really, really, really get famous because of the YouTube. So it's not just because of the beauty, or the how handsome he is, or how talented he is, but because of the YouTube, a lot of people are discovered through YouTube. So that is online, that is internet. So a lot of jobs are also discovered because of the internet. And then we also have uh, businesses are not actually advertised online. So in the YouTube, you can gain a lot of views, and every time you have commercials online or ad campaign online, it can actually boost your income. And then internet has allowed the business to lower its cost and advertising, and still reach an intended customers. Yes, because of uh, daghan na kaayog mo advertise through online, the ad campaign fees, or the ad campaign expenses are lower, but the demand is very high. So still, uh, the income when it comes to ad campaign is actually also booming. And then we also have collaborating with other business have become easier through the use of the internet. Yes, collaborations between companies to companies, collaborations between content providers to content providers are actually easier because of the use of the internet. Uh, Take for example, I'm actually working for quite a long time now with my online job since years, many years back. So there are some of the content. My job is I am a content provider when I give contents of the schools or the advertisement or the fees of the schools in the University of Arizona. So although my employer is from the other side of the country, but still I provide them contents even if I'm here in the Philippines. So it's a collaborations with other businesses that makes it easier because of the internet, because of the connectivity. Okay, so I hope you gain something. I hope you will you are able to get an idea of what a computer networks and then how it helps us nowadays, how it actually gives us lots of opportunities, and then it gives us uh, a discovery of how we are going to what we are going to do in the future, because the future is the internet. So whatever questions you may have or comments that you have or suggestion that we have, please don't hesitate to email me. Please don't hesitate to message me in the group chat. And then thank you, and I hope you have a good day.